Are services still off limits to me?
What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
Do you remember the night we met?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been witness to the unspeakable horrors of the defendant's heinous crimes.
The main goal here, or let's say a top priority for me to play Ted Bundy, was not to glorify, glamorize, to even have people affiliate me with a serial killer is something I've not wanted my entire life. I don't want people to think like, oh, there is a comeback for this kind of true crime. There is a comeback. It's popular.
For years, I've carried this guilt that I'm to blame for everything. If only I hadn't trusted you.
Nice to see you.
Like I said, twice in 1 week.
I mean, from London to here, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This one, very scary because, like you say, you don't see any violence, but sometimes that's even more scary than some of the other stuff you'd see.
It's true. You don't have to always see everything to feel everything, right? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do with the emotional, psychological perspective on this one. And hopefully put the audience in a little bit of the perspective of the victim and see how it is that maybe someone could be lured in by Bundy and kind of understand the more the psychological aspect of it.
You see this one, and it's still eerie, but it's a whole different look.
Yeah, I think it's, with the benefit of hindsight, we can look at that person and see what a manipulative guy he was and see the evil in his eyes. But for people at the time, I mean, he really fooled a lot of the country and a lot of the people in his community because he was so good at sort of creating this shield of being an upstanding college boy and all that stuff.
This is all gonna end.
It's only gonna end with the truth.
Hey, Greg Russell here from Movie Show Plus, enjoying being here at the Foundation Hotel this week. We've been taking the show on the road quite a bit. Now, if you've got a business that you would like us to showcase, just let us know. Get in touch with us via our website right here, movieshowplus.com, and we'll get back with you. And hey, who knows? You might be the next movie star right here on Movie Show Plus.
You have no idea what's coming.
Mr. Wick broke the rules. I trust you understand the repercussions if he survives.
You see this, and it's like, this is just out of this world.
Yeah.
Just so much action.
Yeah, we, it's, I mean, there's obviously when you have the opportunity to tell another chapter and you have, a kind of expectation that you hope you don't want to let people down. And with that, part of that is, there's the obvious thing of like, we got to make it bigger. Right. So we did that. Mm-hmm. And then we also tried to change it up a bit. So there's different kinds of action now in Chapter 3. It's not just, there's a little more. There's the gun fu, and there's the jiu-jitsu and the judo, but now there's motorcycles and horses and more dogs.
I was going to say the dogs. I love the dogs because it's kind of like they had, when I say the wit thing going.
Oh, yeah, wit dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
They knew exactly how to go after someone.
And we opened up the world. I mean, Halle Berry joined the cast, which was really cool, and she has some dogs. And, so it was cool opening up the world, doing new action, and hopefully people will like it.
The thing we all talked about was not only was she powerful, but her dogs were.
Yeah, no, we've never seen that on film before. So that's sort of a new element. At least I was super excited when Chad told me that would be a part of my character. I thought, wow, this is going to be great. And it took a lot of work to work with them, and it took a lot of work with their dog trainer, Andrew Simpson, to get them to do all those things.
Would you help set the mood for our new guest?
Let us begin.
Are services still off limits to me?
What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
We make it possible for him to do what he does. I mean, it's like, you know, you have to have that relationship, and it's not given away even at the end of this. You don't know. You still don't know, and they've managed to, I think, quite cleverly conceal that. Who are we?
You want to get the sense that if anything went down, Sharon would be grabbing a shotgun underneath the bed. Do you know what I mean? So even though I didn't do any action in the first two films, I always try to keep that in mind in terms of kind of the presence of the character.
And you've just been in here smiling and so happy, so that had to be just a blast for you playing somebody like that.
Yeah, you know, the adjudicator is there as an enforcer to enforce the binding rules of this shadowy assassin world of the high table, and so they are very much all business. And so I think the intensity was there on the page, and I was excited to, you know, to bring them to life.
Well, it was really fun to play because I've looked up to and been inspired by Keanu for years. So it was easy for me to just bring that energy to the character because that's, you know, how it was written and that's who he is.
All of this for what? Because of a puppy?
Wasn't just a puppy.
Taken? I'll just get a glass of water, please. I have to save all my money because I'm here to find my sister. She's been taken.
Taken? Like
by men who sell hot white virgins to cajillionaires on yachts.
I am very moved by your story. Order anything you like.
I'll have a club sandwich and an order of fries, 2 slices of cake. Do you want any cake?
No.
3 slices of cake and a Diet Coke.
Impressive.
I'm a con artist.
Sisters in Arms.
Is this a new comedy team coming up?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Hather Wilson. No,
Hatherson.
wait, Hatherson. Yeah.
Hatherson.
We're a new comedy
Or
duo.
Willoway. I like Willoway.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
Willoway.
Ooh.
Willoway.
That does sound good.
That's us.
Raban Willoway.
We're 2 ladies.
Yeah.
We do jokes. We do physical comedy.
Mhm.
We look amazing.
Yeah, we do accents. Yeah, we have good hair. You know, that's us, guys. Yeah.
That's the way to package it. So yeah, just keep it going.
Yeah.
And it's funny and enjoyable and having a great time.
I had no idea how small time I was until I met you.
Penny, why are women better suited to the con than men?
Because we're used to faking it.
And a lot of physical comedy as well going on in this.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, definitely. It's like, okay, how do you get prepared for all that? Especially like a lot of the falling down and stuff.
Sometimes I do a bit of stretching.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
You know, before I have to go out on the ocean and do a flyboarding stunt. I'll do like some daily stretches. Not much other training, really. I just go for it.
Just born for it.
Yeah.
Ready
Some
for
of the
it.
stuff you can't prepare for, like you just kind of have to throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
And what I find with physical comedy sometimes is it's really helpful to watch it back because it is a bit like a dance sequence.
Yeah. Right.
And
It's
so
like choreography.
Exactly. And so sometimes just holding something for it doesn't even feel that different, but on camera, just like holding it just really accentuates it.
Release the peasants!
She must mean pheasants, yeah?
Don't worry, darling, she's a terrible shot.
That was unexpected.
Since childhood, I have been fascinated with language. I've invented my own.
You invented an entire language?
Yes. I made stories. Legends.
Tell me a story. In any language you want.
It's about journeys. The journeys we take to prove ourselves. It's about adventures.
We should form a club, a brotherhood.
Did Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. How did some of this stuff come about? And then you realize, okay, with the language stuff, okay, he was having this stuff going, and then he finally was able to put it into the books and make it part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible when you go back and see just kind of how much of that world he'd built and created before he even created those stories that we love now. And it did all stem from this love of language that his mother distilled in him, learning Latin from a young age, and then learning other languages, and then being like, you know what, I'll create my own, and I need to give those meaning and history and people to speak them. So suddenly this whole world was created.
This one actually shows the reality of what happens when you are in love with somebody, but you do have your ups and downs.
Yeah, they're very real characters in that sense, and they find each other, you know, when they're both young in similar circumstances and fall in love, but then because of those circumstances can't always be together and go through rough times and find a bond, and it's clear that they're soulmates essentially, and they did stay together in real life.
Of course, we all know Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and all like that. And we, after a while, begin to see some of the inspirations that came along, which is always fascinating.
It is, and I think, again, that's why it's so pivotal to tell a story like this, because I was a fan of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but I didn't know much about Tolkien, and especially Edith. So I think it's amazing for fans of the books and the movies, as well as people that kind of know about it, to now know the story behind it, because you gain a different level of respect for the stories he created when you can distill it back in time to the people themselves.
I've never come across anything like it. This is more than just a friendship. It's an alliance. An invincible alliance.
A fellowship.
A Dream Limousine continues to be Metro Detroit's finest luxury transportation service. 734-542-6800. Offering late model luxury SUVs to brand new party buses that seat up to 34 passengers. 734-542-6800. including the one-of-a-kind Escalade stretch with the exciting jet door. Call 734-542-6800. That's 734-542-6800. A Dream Limousine.
Lots of new movies opening this weekend. Let's get to it. I have to admit that I wasn't a huge fan of the original John Wick movie. While it featured some good action and it was sort of a fun premise with the whole thing spiraling out of control after John Wick's dog is killed, I didn't really think it held together as a good movie. But with John Wick 2, I was completely all in. The sequel was the far superior film that not only built on the campy, ultra-violent tone, but it expanded the mythos of what was the best part of the original. The whole secret underground organization of hitmen that all follow their own code, and the Continental Hotel that acts as a safe haven for all of the hitmen. John Wick 2 rocked, and it even made me look back a bit more fondly on the first film. But I'm sad to report that John Wick 3, Parabellum, is fairly disappointing. Now, I will say that there are once again some amazing, and I do mean amazing, action and fight sequences. Like, if the Academy created a Best Stunt Work category, like they should, John Wick 3 would probably be an Oscar-winning film. But sadly, when it comes to the story as a whole, more ends up being much, much less. The world of John Wick gets exponentially bigger this time around, as Wick finds himself on the run from the high table for breaking some golden rules that weren't meant to be broken. But the more the curtain is pulled back, the more convoluted and uninteresting it all becomes. The action, too, begins to get a bit redundant as the movie treks along, and the campy one-liners are a bit too few and far between. This movie takes itself a bit too seriously compared to the first two, and the whole tone just feels a bit uneven. John Wick goes through hell, but he's not the only one who feels bruised and battered after this third and far from final chapter. I'm not going to pull any punches here. John Wick 3 Parabellum doesn't quite live up to the hype, even though at this point, the character is so beloved that many, many moviegoers might still give him a pass. I, though, give this chapter in the Wick saga a C+. There's another film in theaters this weekend that tells the real-life story of Cameron Todd Willingham, a father in Texas who was convicted of arson and murder following the deaths of his 3 young children. The story is being dramatized in Trial by Fire. It stars Jack O'Connell as Willingham and Laura Dern as the attorney who comes in and tries to prove his innocence before his scheduled lethal injection. While this type of movie seems like a dime a dozen, and it is filled with several courtroom drama cliches, it's at least done really well. The performances, too, make Trial by Fire worth checking out. I give this movie the passing grade of a B-. For more detailed reviews of these and other movies, please check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go to the site, search the critics list to find Tom Santilli, and you can scroll through all of my recent and not-so-recent reviews. Another good way to find my stuff is to follow me on Twitter at Tom Santilli, or go to the website movieshowplus.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Smith. I'm the writer and director of Rendezvous in Chicago.
I'm Claire Cooney. I'm one of the lead actors in Rendezvous in Chicago, and I wrote and directed the short film Runner, which we'll play right before Rendezvous.
Rendezvous in Chicago is a romantic comedy feature film that features 3 stories that focus on 3 different couples, all of whom are at a pivotal moment in their relationship. The first story is about a young man approaching a woman in a wine bar. She's a stranger to him, and she's played by the great Claire Cooney.
What do you say? Can I buy you a drink?
I already have a drink.
That's true. I'll buy the next round.
And he finds that he gets into a little more than he bargained for. The second story is about a guy who wants to propose to his boyfriend of several months, and that's about the middle of a relationship. And the third story is about a young woman coming home from work early and finding her live-in boyfriend in bed with another woman.
Listen, we were not doing anything wrong, okay? I know it looks weird from your perspective.
So each of these stories corresponds to a different phase in a relationship, and they each correspond to a different phase of a narrative. The first story is about the beginning, the second is about the middle, and the third is about the end.
Runner is a short film about a woman who witnesses a violent incident and must decide between intervention and her own safety. It's a quiet thriller. It's my first film as a filmmaker. I wrote, directed, edited it, acted in it, the whole shebang. And I, to some extent, was just inspired to write the story of a woman who witnesses something that is hard to live with and it has really intense repercussions in her life.
Look at me. Call the police. What happened? We have to call the police? What happened? Talk to me. Hey.
Exploring the uncomfortable power dynamics that exist in society and intimidation and feeling like you're exposed or in a vulnerable position as a woman. This film kind of speaks to something that's really relevant right now. It's called Strip Literary Trivia.
Strip literary trivia?
Just because I didn't have 500 of them like you doesn't mean I'm not a dog person.
Trust me, he's a cat person.
There's something about the way you're looking at me. Like,
the themes that I wanted to explore in Rendezvous in Chicago specifically are relationships and how couples communicate within a relationship.
I want you to take this Blu-ray player with you!
No! Well, the reaction to Rendezvous in Chicago has been a very pleasant surprise. The film is doing better than I thought that it would, actually, because we made this film on a very low budget. We did it for $20,000, and we also shot it in just 8 days. So out of the festivals we've played so far, we've won 2 Audience Choice Awards. We've also won a couple of Best Comedy Awards. And that's more than I was hoping for, to be honest with you.
The reaction to Runner has been similarly really exciting. We played at 15 film festivals. We won 6 awards across the country. I was nominated for the Filmmaker to Watch Award at the Academy Qualifying Atlanta Film Festival. And honestly, the most exciting part has been the audience response. People are really scared by the film, which I didn't even intend for it to be that scary, but people are really scared about the film. People said it made their palms sweat and it made them jump. People cried at the film. People are really emotionally involved, and that's been really gratifying to see how passionate people felt about the character and about the story I told.
Hi. Hi. We good?
I think the biggest challenge facing independent filmmakers today is probably not so much getting your film made as getting the film seen, because it's actually more inexpensive today to make a really good looking film than it ever has been. So everyone's making films, but it's really hard to get yours to kind of break through to a wider audience.
For Runner, we put it online. I mean, short films don't have as much in the way of distribution, which is why I'm so excited to be playing at a theater and playing. I love playing before features. I think it's a great way to show short films.
With Rendezvous in Chicago, we've had a healthy festival run. We've been accepted into 10 festivals, and counting. But we're also playing independent theaters around the country, like the Gene Siskel Film Center in Chicago, and the Maple in Detroit, and Spectacle in Brooklyn. Well, I'm personally very excited to be coming to the Maple, and I've heard that the Maple is an amazing venue. So this is the kind of place I really want, my film to be seen in.
I'm really excited for Rendezvous in Chicago and Runner to play at the Maple Theater. I've been going to this theater since I was very young. It's literally 7 minutes from my parents' house. Thank you so much. Come see the films.
Hey, Greg Russell here from Movie Show Plus, enjoying being here at the Foundation Hotel this week. We've been taking the show on the road quite a bit. Now, if you've got a business that you would like us to showcase, just let us know. Get in touch with us via our website right here, movieshowplus.com, and we'll get back with you. And hey, who knows? You might be the next movie star right here on Movie Show Plus.
Check out movieshowplus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel. Next time on Movie Show Plus.
I thought a princess could go anywhere.
Not this princess.
Do you trust me?
Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better. I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. Let me share this whole new world with you.
Any and all views and/or opinions expressed by me, Tom Santilli, are fully my own and do not necessarily reflect the views and/or opinions of Movie Show Plus, any other critic on the show, or anybody else associated with this program.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.